This is just a few questions from Chicago. I'm Mark Sims from Chicago, and I have Heidi Henry on the line and Murri Briel. They are the Heartland Mamas. How you doing, Heartland Mamas?
Hi, Mark.
Now
Thank you so much for having us.
I got to go find it. I got to go find a picture of you. I got to turn this building off and say, because when I talk to you, I say, who's talking, Heidi or Murri? So I'm like, okay. So who's gonna talk first and tell me what's going on out in the heartland of Illinois? Who's first?
Go for it, Heidi.
Okay, well, this is Heidi. I live out in a little town called Marseilles, Illinois, which is out in north central Illinois. And out here, there's a real dichotomy in how people are handling the pandemic. And it depends on if you are male or female and the color of your skin. And I hate to say it that way, but it seems like a lot of people out here, especially the white men, are not following the rules of the pandemic. So that was just my observation today. I had to go out for a little bit, and I thought, why is it only? Do you have to be a white guy to not wear a mask? I don't know, So just sometimes things amuse me, and I come up with the weirdest observations. So.
So that was Murri. So Heidi, what do you think?
No, that was Heidi.
That was Heidi. So Murri, what do you think?
That was Heidi.
Okay, what do you think?
This is Murri. So I am farther east than Heidi is. We are in Joliet, but it's the farthest west point. So it's more, in 5 minutes I'm in farmland. But we are in Will County near Plainfield, that area. And it's been really interesting to watch sort of the stages people have gone through out here as far as, the pandemic. I think the news keeps things somewhat quiet. We have no PPE at overcapacity, exhausted nurses, St. Joe's. We had to send inmates from Stateville to Morris, and now the head of the ER department in Morris has it. We're kind of in this interesting area where there's hostility and acceptance and understanding. And what I think is I'm seeing more and more of those folks who are the more Make America Great crowd, and not even to that level or would acknowledge they were, but they're starting to build this resentment and this frustration. So last night, for example, Governor Pritzker said that the rest of the school year would be done online, that they would find some way to honor the graduates, and multiple high schools in the area had Seniors Forever 2021 last get together, and there were like 100 to 150 kids from multiple schools at different places in their parking lots, which wouldn't seem like a bad idea, but they're taking pictures, they're hugging, they're talking, they're emotional. This is horrible, right? But those 100, 150 kids, mass gathering, even outside, you're just going, holy crap. So I would expect to see a spike in cases out here in about 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, Murri, I had no idea that was going on out by you.
Last night,
keep going.
Several high schools, and then Judge knows my oldest son is a junior, and he saw the posts on social media, and I'm just thinking, he's like, Mom, I'm really worried. I'm like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Murri, I'm always quoting my late mentor, Jim Rohn, and I'll say just exactly what he said. You got to be smarter than that. And your son, at least, is smart enough not to go. But, you're going to have people who just aren't smart enough to realize, or they're so resistant to facts and evidence that they're going to fight this, fight the restrictions. And
here we go. We've got teenagers. And I understand, I know teachers who are crushed and kids who are crushed and are graduating seniors, and it's like absolutely horrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those parents who let those kids out of the house were probably thinking, oh, I know I shouldn't, but they just had this, whatever. I believe that's just an emotional reaction that was emotion over logic, where the rallies and things are stupidity.
Ladies, Heidi and Murri, do you out there in the collar counties of Chicago, are there conspiracy theories out there in the collar counties where you are? I'm serious. COVID-19 conspiracy theory, because I believe in a lot of them. I'm going to tell you now. Tell me something I haven't heard yet.
Murri's
always got somebody calling her.
Well,
after some sort of crazy conspiracy.
You know, for some reason, Mark, people will call me because they can never get a hold of the state senator I run against. So they'll call me and they'll ask me the questions that she should be able to answer for them. And I get the weirdest stuff. I had people asking me if they could inoculate their family with cow vaccine for coronavirus. Well, cows get coronavirus, but it's not the same as COVID-19. And this is a product that's never been tested on people before. And I said, I would not advise that, you know? So, and then the other day, somebody asked me if they could use, because I have horses on my farm, could I use horse wormer to kill off the bacteria? I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And that's when I said, you know, you got to be smarter than that. If you're going to survive this evolutionary cycle, you know, you're going to have to get a little smarter, or evolution will leave you behind. And those are the kinds of questions I get, more sciencey questions. Murri hears all the real weird.
Yeah, let me hear that weird. Let me hear that weird stuff. You got a weird conspiracy, Murri?
There's the big question about, you know, where the virus originated, and there's different stories about it. But I have to say, I think one of the weirdest stories about the virus and its exposure is that Obama gave the virus to Wuhan, China lab, the lab that's there, the biolab. And he knew that their lab was not containment ready. He and his team knew that the virus would leak from that containment facility, and that by that virus leaking, it would be sent across the world. The same way there was the measles outbreak in Disney, because the CIA put measles, infected people that went to Disney with measles, so there would be a big push to get the measles vaccine. Are you freaking kidding me? So this whole thing, so the story continues with knowing that it would kill millions and millions of people was okay, because it's really all just a plot by pharmaceutical companies to sell more vaccines.
You know, some of those conspiracy theories I believe, because just because you're paranoid don't mean they ain't out to get you.
Now, Mark, I am with you. I believe what you said there 100 million%. And the worst part about a conspiracy theory like this is there are nuggets of truth in this video that they put out there. And there are things that they bring up that are facts, but they twist the facts to meet their own conclusions, which is what's dangerous, because people see this and they hear maybe that later that day, or they heard it before, that, well, the CDC did set up panic response teams in multiple cities across the United States. They started advertising for hiring for these places in November. And that is absolutely 100% true, because we knew about the virus. But that doesn't make it that the CDC was in on the vaccine industry, okay? So the connections can be dangerous if you give people enough information, but not the whole story. They're going to have to fill it in to make sense.
That's what I do. I like filling things in. Yeah. Now, ladies, with your permission, I know this. Everybody's busy, but can I do a part 2 of this fine show?
Yeah,
Before I shut this one down and go to part 2, I got to ask you the last question for part 1. But ladies, both of you, Murri and Heidi, do people think the virus will ever come out to your neighborhood? It was just going to be a Chicago virus. Yeah. You know, it's not going to come out, because I read something in downstate Illinois. Somebody was talking to their pharmacist downstate Illinois, and they said, "Oh no, that virus is going to stay in Chicago. It's not coming down here."
Oh, it's ridiculous. You know, I think maybe. Well, here's one of the things that came out almost right away. Is that if you go to a rural area, you're less likely to get it, which is a fallacy. People were taking what they called COVID vacations, and they were renting places in rural areas and going there to quarantine, thinking it wouldn't get there. Well, this is backfiring in places. And the things that Murri and I have discovered by doing this and interviewing people is that the more rural you go, the worse your healthcare system gets. So we might complain about having to sometimes drive up to an hour to get to a doctor. I've been to places in Kansas where your drive can be anywhere from 2 to 4 hours just to get to a doctor. So don't do that. Don't go rural. Stay in and take care of yourself. It's the best thing you can do.
All right, ladies, on that note, let me in this first fine broadcast, it's been a pleasure. And we're going to do a part 2, maybe do some more conspiracy theories. But no, we're going to talk about President Trump in part 2. So stand by. The great. Heartland Mamas, you can see, we can see you on, just go to heartlandmamas.com to see you and hear you.
MAMAS, heartlandmamas.com.
And you're on all the platforms. The podcast is going. You're doing it every week, right?
We do a couple of shows a week.
2 shows a week. Oh, wow, you good.
2 shows a week. We they're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Cast. We're also a part of the Demcast Network, which is a really great network of podcasters. So if anybody's interested, you can check that out too.
Democratic
you can get us, just type in Heartland Mamas, MAMAS, just that into Google, and you'll find us everywhere.
Heidi Hearing and Murri Briel, you're going to say a lot of nice things about President Trump on part two. So stand by. Let's do part 2.
Okay.